Hey guys, I'm Dave.
And I'm Len.
And today we're going to talk about games we're thinking of getting in the future. I'll start here. I got GMT Games website up here. I'm looking at the best sellers of all time. Reason for this video is because there's an auction going on in our local area. I put some items in there, and when I get the auction credit, I'm thinking about getting some stuff from GMT Games. Stuff I'm interested in getting would be Dominant Species, the dinosaur game. Command and Color Ancients. I might actually get that for my dad. I think he's got a few copies of that.
Space Pirates?
Oh no, that's Space Empires. That says it's out of stock though right now. That one's got a good reputation. Command and Color Napoleonics. My dad has that and a bunch of expansions for it and stuff too. What else do we got here? Thunder Alley. That's a racing game. I wouldn't mind playing a racing game. I haven't played a racing game in a while. Last one I played was at Border Wars in not St. Louis. What's that city in Missouri? Right, Kansas City. Yeah, in Kansas City. Yeah, some guy brought a miniatures game that was basically car racing, which was completely awesome. So, yeah, I'd like to try some more stuff like that. And I got an Osprey game at home. I haven't read the rule book yet. It's got not car racing, but more like cars that are kind of like a Mad Max thing, and they shoot at each other. I can't remember the name of it. That's something I got to read one of these days. What's your first game you're thinking of getting?
Okay, actually, I was thinking some of the magazines games that I subscribe to are coming in a few months. First of all, Compass Games, Paper Wars, has one about Fallujah. That sounds like, I was reading the designer's notes, and it actually looks interesting, because he's talking about how the counter-insurgents are organized and what advantages and disadvantages they have. And you have choices on how you can recruit them. Could you have a few number of units that know how to conventionally fight and hold territory?
Like Chechens, yeah.
And or else, a lot of terrorists that may cause casualties, but they're easily blown away. So I like, and also the American side, you have choices on what weapons to send in. So I'm looking forward to that one.
There was a game from, it was called the Battle of Ramadi. It was from, I think, Tiny Battle Publishing. I bought it, and I was really excited for the game, and then when I played it and I saw what a disaster the rule book was and so on and so forth, I regretted buying it. It was like $30 thrown in the garbage, so hopefully this game, Fallujah, turns out to be better than the Ramadi game.
Yes. And the other one, decision game, Strategy and Tactics is going to have the Battles of the French and Indian War. That's another one. We know about, every French and Indian War I played, it's either been a grand strategy or a skirmish game.
What was the one we played from GMT Games? I think I owned it at the time. That GMT Games one, Wilderness something, or Wilderness War or something like that. Yeah,
with the little leadership counters that were like, you put them on little plastic stands.
Yeah. Did you like that game, or?
I think I was a little confused over certain sections of the rules. Otherwise, the problem was the French and Indian Wars is a tough game, because the first half, the French should have the quality advantage and kick around the British. So if the British survive enough, when they get the massive reinforcements, they kick ass real fast. And not only massive reinforcements, you have General Wolfe, who is practically invincible. Only person that could hold him off is Montcalm, and he dies in the Plains of Abraham. So
yeah, that game, I didn't really get into it. I'm not calling it a bad game or anything. It's not a bad game. I just didn't get into it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm a fanatic about the French and Indian War, so it's like, it did a lot of things right, but there was something about, actually, I was thinking it had cards in it, and that's always a obstacle for me to enjoy it.
Well, some war games, the cards really help the game, like, for instance, Battle Cry, you know what I mean? And there's some where the cards do not help the game and actually make it worse, or some where they just have no effect on the game at all, or they get too random and stuff, and you have these special events that occur. You're in the lead, and all of a sudden you draw this event card, and now you're losing.
Yeah, because I was saying French and Indian Wars, you gotta love the period. Otherwise, it's like I said, when the British reinforcements come with General Wolfe, the French hopefully have enough, advanced enough, they can retreat slowly and have at least one city left when winter comes.
French and Indian Wars, that's the one with Roger's Rangers in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I read that. I think you let me borrow the book. It was the book written by Roger Ranger himself. I read it. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, because it had like his journals and his letters and
and all his rules and stuff he had. That was really cool.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is if you play it as a ranger game, it's actually fun.
Mm-hmm.
But on the operational map, that has problems. So,
anything from Compass Games other than the Paper Wars stuff you're looking to get?
yeah, I was thinking against the odds. I can't remember what they're having next. But
yeah, I got one against the odds game at home I got to play. It's that one that just won like 50 million Charles S. Roberts Awards. It seems like it's something like Time of Crisis. It's some Roman game. I can't remember the name of it. We got to play it sometime.
Didn't win a million awards, just 100,000.
Oh, 100,000. All right,
yeah.
Can't remember the name of it, but I got it at home, unpunched.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I got a Victory Point Games game that's similar to that too. A little micro game, Caesar XL or something like that. I played it solo once. It was all right. We'll have to play it. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I was thinking, right now it seems like everybody's putting up a strategic Roman Empire game, and I'm sitting there going, well, it sounds like another game I have.
Well, the Romans, that's such an interesting period, and battles and stuff were great. I just watched something, got it from the library. It was called Great Battles of England or something like that, and one of them was the Boudica stuff, which was pretty cool.
Ah, yes. That was a rough campaign.
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, Boudica's forces went in those Roman towns that had basically no defense, no walls up or anything, and just killed everyone in these towns. And then when they sent that legion to come save one of the towns that got ambushed, they knew what road it would be coming on. The British, so they're smart, and they ambushed it on two sides when it was going basically single file down a narrow path, and the legion got annihilated. But then later, when I can't remember the name of the Roman commander, he set himself up in a perfect position where he had trees on the left, right, and rear of him, and it was kind of like a narrow lane. And he was attacked by like 230,000 British, and he only had less than 10,000 Romans. But they went into a wedge formation and just went forward and killed, I think, 80,000 British. And the reason for that is because they're using the wedge going forward, which is basically makes them a killing machine. The second reason is the British had their families set up their wagons behind them so they could watch the battle. And when they got pushed back, they got pushed into the wagons, and there was nowhere to run, so they just got slaughtered.
Yeah, once the rout panic sets in, you're going.
Yeah.
No matter how many guys you have.
Yeah, and I mean, the Romans were smart with their cavalry. They saved them until the British were retreating, and then the cavalry went in and just were attacking the rear and killing them left and right too.
I thought there were 4 legions at that one.
I think it was 2 legions. It was supposed to be 3. The 3rd legion didn't show up for unknown reasons. It wasn't wiped out or anything. Just for some reason, the general or whatever didn't bring it there. Or didn't bring it there in time.
The slows.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember that campaign. The Britons start out really good because most of the Roman legions are sacking and burning the holy sites on Mona Island.
Oh yeah, the Druid stuff. Yeah.
And so they get to burn London and kill. I think one legion lost a couple cohorts because that's the only one that was like garrisoning it.
Yeah, those towns. I mean, they had no permanent military force in them. I mean, the only defense they had were retired legionnaires who at the last minute had to go find their armor and weapons and try to fight off, I don't know how many thousand British. They stood no chance. I mean, they were so outnumbered.
Well, they weren't. They were unfortified because they were in friendly territory.
Right.
They didn't end up to be that friendly.
Well, That was arrogance. Like if you go to Pompeii, I've been there, and that's in Italy, and that has walls around it and stuff as like a defense against enemies and stuff. So in Britain, the Romans could have put walls around their cities, but they chose not to because of arrogance.
In Pompeii, probably at one time they had worried about the Samnites, and also for Pompey, they had the sea pirates to worry about. So.
Don't mean to get this video off track, but I was watching something about the Vikings. It's like the Vikings and the Irish were raiding the British Isles quite a bit. You got to kind of wonder why they didn't put together a fleet and go over to Norway and attack the Vikings' homeland ever, or did they? I'm not familiar with that.
I think with Roman times, they probably didn't know where Norway was.
Right.
I mean, it was a big deal. I think they found some island of tools somewheres in the North Sea. And also there was an argument over the Saxons were invading Britain during the last century of Roman times. If they were really more Vikings than continental Europeans, but that's hard to tell. Because what somebody said is the famous Viking axe was a Roman military engineer's axe. So it was good not only for chopping people up, but chopping firewood, so building defenses and things like that.
Interesting. All right, I know we got a little off track here, but what's another game you're thinking of getting?
That's all I could think of right now. Because I'm really the problem I have is I have so many games. I'm playing a lot of them. Like for instance, just the last couple of weeks I played a scenario in Destroyer Leader twice, and also a scenario in the Royal Navy that I hadn't played. There's one commentator on YouTube who couldn't play Royal Navy because it was too confusing. I'm saying this is one of the easiest games in the world.
Have I ever tried that one? It doesn't sound familiar.
I think you did. We did a scenario.
Okay.
But I think we did something like the Bismarck in the hood or something like that. He wanted to play the one where the Goeben faces 4 armored cruisers. And historically, the admiral decided not to engage because he was outclassed, and that the battle of Jutland, he was proven right. I think 3 of the 4 in that were sunk at Jutland.
Interesting. Yeah, the only other stuff I'm thinking of getting a subscription to Paper Wars magazine. The only problem is I get 2 magazines in the mail currently that I got to read every month, and then I got a library about a block or 2 from my house that I go to on a daily basis, and from there I'll read like maybe another 6 magazines a month, so we're talking 8 magazines right there. It's like, do I really want more to read? I mean, sure, Paper Wars has the games that I really want to play, but I just don't know if I have time to read it. But
Oh, yes.
All right, that's all I got. You got anything?
No.
All right, have a good one, guys.
All right.